I'm Debbie with Vacation Club Loans, and thank you for joining us today. We are at the Riviera Resort. Super exciting day. We have an expert in DVC Resales. It is Matti P with Fidelity Real Estate. And of course, you know the wonderful and beautiful Kaity Kimball.
Okay, slow down.
How are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing a lot better now that I know I'm wonderful and beautiful. So that's really
you
cool.
are wonderful and beautiful. I'm just saying.
My head's going to explode. Let's not. Matti, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, super fun. Honestly, there's worse places to record than the Riviera Resort.
I mean, the Riviera is beautiful.
Yeah.
So fun.
This room is phenomenal, and I'm not trying to plug us, but if you watch our room tour, I am so impressed by all the little nooks and crannies. When they developed this resort, they really thought out every inch of the space.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
They did a great job. So anyway, that's a different show.
Tune in next time.
Different show.
So what are we doing today?
Well, I thought it would be great. I mean, spotlight. We could talk about Disney Vacation Club resales, and just to kind of get to know Matti first, because I think that's more important.
It's a lot more fun.
Let's get to know you. That's really good.
Who is Matti? Why is Matti?
Well, hi. I'm Matti P. I am the marketing manager for Fidelity Real Estate. I've been with the company for about 2 years now, and I really love it.
I have a question. So how did you get into the timeshare industry, from your educational background to how did you end up here in this room? Tell us.
What brings you here?
Yeah, so 2 years ago, I'd lived in Texas my whole life, and I was like, I'm ready to go and explore. So I was looking to move to Orlando, Florida, and I was kind of just on the job search, looking a little bit everywhere, and I came across Fidelity Real Estate. And I was like, oh my gosh, my dad works in real estate. I am going to nail this. And then I started doing research on the company, and I'm like, oh, it's timeshare real estate. There's licensed real estate agents that specialize in everything timeshare. And I was like, well, my grandparents both have timeshare, so I know how much they love it. I'm like, okay.
Still going to nail it.
Spoiler alert, I got the job. And
whoa,
here I am 2 years later. So absolutely loving it.
Very cool. I love how that your grandparents owned timeshare and that your dad was in real estate. So when you graduated, you saw all these little perfect trifecta, kind of cool stuff.
Exactly.
That's
and
very cool.
Who doesn't like working in the vacation industry? I mean,
True.
Everyone loves to take vacations. So it's super cool that we get to, help people get on vacations.
How people used to say, Florida, I live where you vacation. Well, you work where people vacation.
I do. Yeah. And live. Work and live. Yeah. Love it.
So what do you love about timeshare, DVC, that industry now that you've been in it for a couple of years?
Yeah. Well, as far as helping customers that are looking to buy, I love that we are setting them up for, vacations for years to come. Most people come to the resale market because they're also looking to save money, which is really awesome. So we get to help them, find their home away from home, their future vacation spot, while also saving them money in the process. And then with the people that are looking to sell, I like that we're helping them kind of get out of their ownership when that's something that they're seeking. So we get to help both sides of the coin, which is really awesome.
Yeah, so ARDA, which is the association that kind of does the whole resale industry and the whole developer industry. So the average owner owns for 10 years.
Oh, okay.
So you purchase a Disney Vacation Club or whatever brand, and after 10 years, your family dynamics change, your children get older, or you move, or whatever scenario you can think of. And you're like, okay, this particular situation does no longer fit my life. I bought at we're at the Riviera. So I bought at the Riviera. Now I'm no longer going to that, destination, or I'm no longer going to my Disney Vacation Club and I'm using my points. So you can sell them on the resale market, and that's where Fidelity comes in.
Right.
And you can sell them. So it's really awesome to be able to help not only one person, but two. Two totally different dynamics, and you're helping okay, I want to sell. Awesome. I'm here for you. I want to buy. Awesome. I've got the perfect situation. And you guys, as a broker, represent both people. So you're representing the buyer and the seller, and you can coordinate like, oh, this is exactly what you want. Good, because I have exactly what you want. And you can kind of help both situations. So I love that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like helping someone shut a door and helping someone else open a door.
Yeah.
And so it's just really great to kind of match somebody that is looking to leave with someone that is wanting to buy that exact ownership. We can kind of help them. And with how long we've been in the industry, a lot of people know about us. I mean, we're a recommended seller for ARDA, which is really awesome because we follow a very strict code of ethics. And so people can trust us and they want to work with us. And so, they come to us, which is awesome.
Well, and I guess like I'm relatively new to all of this. My first hurdle was understanding how DVC worked because I was like, I don't get it. And the way I was able to understand it was like Weight Watchers. So I was like, okay, you have a certain amount of points and you can use that on a certain amount of things. And that was the only way I was able to do
analogy.
it. Yeah, because everybody's talking about points and I was like, I still don't get it. So the next hurdle of my understanding was now the whole resale thing and just how big the resale market is for a DVC.
Right.
So can you give like a quick rundown breakdown of what it is, which we kind of were talking about people wanting to sell, but is it like specifically for DVC? It's like a lot of people in, a lot of people out kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, it's a very hot market. A lot of people are either looking to be a first-time DVC buyer or they're looking to add on to the membership that they already
That's what I was going to
have.
ask too. Can you like add like, I want more.
Add on items. Yeah.
Exactly.
So as the lender in the industry, I have customers that are like, oh, okay, I'm buying for the first time.
Right.
So we've been in business 8 years. So someone's like, oh, I'm exploring this. I really want to buy it. Okay, I'm all in. I'm like, great. So we offer the financing, whatever. And then a year or two later, they're like, I did it again. I'm like, no problem. We got you. And then 2 years later, oh, I did it again. I'm like, okay, who's your agent? Oh, well, it's Sean Ray or it's Bonnie at Fidelity. I'm like, I got you. It's okay.
It's like, I want to be able to spend a full week at the bungalow. So I just have to keep buying points.
But that's the thing. Yeah. It's like you get into it and then it becomes like an addiction almost.
Right.
You're just like, okay, I have so many points. And like you were saying with the Weight Watchers point, which is a great reference, you're like, okay, I get this many points, and not per day, but it's like per year. You get the points per year, and you're like, oh, I wish I had more points. I'm hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, well, you can spend all of your daily points on a donut, and you can spend all of your yearly points one night at the bungalows. It's totally up to you, you know?
Right.
So it's like, well, let me get more points.
So I'm like, okay, I have my 100 points. I have my 200 points. And then as a family, of course, myself, your family grows and expands. And then it's like, okay, here's me and my spouse. Oh, here's me and my spouse and my 2 kids. Oh, here's me and now I'm a grandmother, and here's my 2 kids and my grandkid.
Right.
So
we need a 2 or 3 bedroom now, which we started at a studio, and now everything's more.
I went from studio to 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. And I can't wait for the Poly Tower 2 bedrooms to open.
I know, yeah.
And the 1 bedrooms to open because
that'll really open up. Poly will be the place.
I own at Poly. That's my home resort.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
Okay.
that's my home resort. And I've always been studio bound, which, to be honest, I have never stayed in a studio at Poly.
Oh, really?
Never.
Okay.
That's my home resort, and I've never stayed. I've stayed at the bungalows, which we did that, video in December, but I've never stayed in a studio because it doesn't fit my family.
Yeah.
My 21-year-old son does not want to share a room with me, and I don't want to share a room with him either.
Yeah.
Right.
So our family needs the 1 bedroom setup. So every time I've used my DVC points, it's been at another resort, which is kind of weird that that's my home resort. But I love Poly. And now that the tower's going to open in December,
that's really going to open things up. Oh, it's crazy.
I can't wait to see it. I'm like, perfect.
I know.
And I love the submersive theme at that resort too.
Yeah,
so
it's like
totally
Exactly.
yeah.
So
it's totally good.
why would somebody, we're talking up resale, why would someone choose to go resale over direct? Like if I'm a suspicious shopper, and I'm like, I feel like, getting it from Disney would probably be more trustworthy, or like, what's the sell? Like, why would I do that?
Well, one of the reasons a lot of people come to us is we're one of Disney's recommended resale brokers. So they recommend us as a good
trustworthy. Yeah, okay.
Right, exactly.
100%.
I think since 2009. So for a very, very long time, which has been awesome. So that's one way that people think to come to us, is that they know that we're trustworthy. But also, number one reason people buy resale is the savings. Like, it is incredible how much you can save on the resale market. Just overall.
Is like, did you have the numbers that we could compare?
I did.
So we can tell.
I brought like actual stats. So I'm going to have to put on my glasses.
Right.
Let me put on my reading glasses.
Put on my
specs.
Because it's quite a bit of money.
Yeah. No. So with Vacation Club loans, obviously we do the financing. So I have financed 6 direct contracts this year.
Okay.
So obviously DVC offers their own financing. 99% or 99.9% people finance directly with DVC. But we are able to do that. So for example, and this is a hard fact, this is for 2024. So an Alani direct contract.
Ooh.
Okay. I got 3 examples. This particular contract for 150 points at Alani was 196
per point.
Okay.
196 per point.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Direct 196.
Resale.
Okay.
600 loans I've done for resale. Your savings was 53% at Alani.
So what's the resale point?
$104.65.
Right. Yeah.
That's a little.
So direct is 190.
Okay, so direct, 150 points. Direct 196 after the discount. Resale 104.65. Okay, 53% was your savings.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So that's pretty crazy. And then an Old Key West. So I want to make it super clear. So if you buy Old Key West directly from Disney, you're getting an extended contract because they extended the expiration date 15 years.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be up next year, right?
Yeah. No. It has like 20
like the 30
years
or
left.
something.
Yeah.
Oh, it does?
It has like 20 years left.
Don't listen to me.
21 years left, but they extended it for another 15 because it was the very first Disney that was built, and it was a 50-year. And now
it was 50 years.
It was 50
years.
years.
30.
So when they do the 50
we have 24,
years,
25 years left.
So we are,
they gave like a certain amount of people. They offered it to everybody if you want to extend it.
But only certain people said,
right.
yeah, I'll extend, which was super smart, by the way. Old Key West extended. They bought direct. They got a 20% discount. And so they got 150 points also. It was $165 a point. Mm-hmm. On the resale market, this was not extended. So I don't think it's really apples to apples because it's 15 years less. But that's the only thing that I could compare it to. So it was a 49% savings. It was $81 a point. So $81 a point versus $165. So
if you like money, if you're weird and you like money, it sounds like you should go with resale. Now, I think like me, again, as playing devil's avocado here, but me, I'll say, okay, well, I save money, but what am I getting less than that? Like, am I missing out on any perks, or am I missing out on whatever? Am I like a less than member if I buy resale? Like, how's that work? What do you think?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do lose out on some perks.
Right,
not
done.
yes, you're
We're out of here.
Not yes, you're a less than owner.
Yeah. Am I less than? Absolutely, Kaity.
No. Yeah. Especially,
do I love money? Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Especially, it's funny that we're shooting at Riviera because right before Riviera opened was kind of when a lot of things did change. Mm-hmm. So originally, the first 15 resorts.
Yeah.
You buy at, you can go, you can trade and stay at other resorts.
Like interchangeable.
Right, exactly.
I buy at Poly, I stay at Old Key West.
Yes, okay. You're not like locked in to your home resort. But starting Riviera on, so Riviera Villas at Disneyland Hotel and
The cabins.
The new cabins, right?
brand new cabins.
So, and any other property that DVC decides to add on, if you buy resale there, you can only use your points there.
Okay. So like Debbie buys direct points for Riviera from Disney. And then she's like, not really vibing. I want to sell them.
Right.
I buy them from Debbie. I can only stay at Riviera.
Correct.
Right. But you're not supersonic locked in. Okay, so this kind of goes, so within the Disney Vacation Club bubble, if you buy Riviera Resale or the cabins or the brand new tower in California, you are restricted to that particular property. But you're not pigeon-toed in that particular property because Disney Vacation Club...
I'm sorry, I think you meant pigeonholed.
Oh, is it pigeonhole?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's pigeon-toed.
Okay.
That's okay. Sorry.
We're sure we like to say pigeon-toed.
I was like, I am pigeon-toed, but I don't... yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're going to have to cut that out.
That's really mean of you to point that out. Really, really self-conscious about it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, inappropriate conversation.
That's staying in. But yeah, so you're not like trapped in Riviera, so you do have options.
Well, you have options, but it has to be through a third party. Like you and I were having that conversation. Oh, it was Lauren at Fidelity. Also, we were having that conversation that Interval International, which is their exchange company, also opens up a whole plethora.
A whole new world, you could
Yes,
say.
a whole new world.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So then exchange is a whole nother conversation, but
Okay.
their Interval International is the exchange company that represents Disney Vacation Club, but they represent a lot of other brands, Marriott, Hyatt. We're talking excellent marquee brands.
Right.
And you can say, okay, I'm not going to use my 100 points, or I don't want to use my 100 points at Riviera. I'm going to give you my 100 points for Riviera, and they have a whole exchange network, and I'm going to take your 100 points at Marriott Koalani, in Oahu, Hawaii, which is literally right next
to
door
Aulani.
to Aulani.
Right.
I'm going to go there with my exchange program. So it is outside the box, but you're not trapped into this is where I have to go for the next 47 years because this is where I
That's my
bought.
only vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So through the exchange program, it's really pretty amazing. They do have a membership fee. It's not astronomical. I don't know 100% what it is, but let's say it's $199 a year. Let's say it's $259 a year. Okay, I pay $259 and I'm going to exchange for my Riviera points, and I'm going to go to this Marriott, or I'm going to go to this Hyatt in Key West, Florida.
Yeah.
Or they have international properties.
Well,
so
didn't you go somewhere with
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Okay. So I used to own a timeshare in the Bahamas, and I gave my week in the Bahamas, and I got a week at Fitzpatrick Castle in Dublin, Ireland.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
It was so awesome.
So it's like sick
Right.
of the beach. I'm gonna go to Ireland.
Yeah, because I had done the Bahamas year after year, and I was like, okay, well, I'm kind of looking for a little international spark and flair. And the exchange company, if they were like, oh, well, we have this available. So that's the thing about, the timeshare industry in general, is it's all based on availability. Disney Vacation Club is still based on availability.
Right.
True. Yeah.
I could own 1,000 points, but that doesn't mean I can go and stay at the Riviera tomorrow if I didn't book it. You know what I'm
like ahead of
saying?
time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's availability. So there is that little nook of planning. There's also a lot of last minute stays.
Yeah.
I'm a last minute booker.
I was about to say, I was like, well,
I'm totally a last minute
Yeah.
booker, but I'm also very
oh my God, I just saw that we
flexible.
got whatever. Do you want to film over at whatever in 2 days? I'm like, sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
No, there's
Yeah.
a lot of last minute stuff, but if I'm traveling with my family and
little
I
bit.
have to take off of work, so, Maddie, you and I, we live here in Florida. so we can pop over to the DVC resorts.
True.
Last night we had dinner at Disney Springs.
Summer house,
and, we get to come over here and spend the night. And it's all.
It's easier than flying in
cool.
from Philadelphia or something.
Right.
It's not
Right.
so,
Yeah. So we don't have that travel obstacle.
Well, and one thing that I've seen, just looking up stuff, is that when you buy direct, you get to kind of transfer your points, but transfer them over to the Disney Cruise Line, which initially when I read that, because Disney will list that as an amazing perk, oh my goodness.
Right.
But then you look into it and it's actually a not very beneficial exchange rate. You're spending more in what you're spending in points, you'd be better off just spending the cash to buy the cruise. And when you're talking these kind of numbers, 196 versus, I'm so sorry, I forgot the number, 150 something, 140 something, you'd save enough money to buy 4 Disney cruises, if you're spending that much money.
Right.
That was the big thing for me. Because when you said that, we were having a conversation a while ago and you're like, yeah, well, if you're direct, you can use it for Disney cruises. And I was like, what? And then you're like, yeah, but you're basically eating up a good chunk of your actual points.
Right.
So I think that's another solid thing. I don't know. Everything I've heard is that resale would be any perks that you might miss. The money you would save, you could just get that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it ultimately comes down to weighing your options. For some people, they want to go direct, and other people are 100% into resale. So it's kind of weighing your pros and cons. Obviously, there's always what some people will do is they'll buy 150 points direct, and then
sprinkle on top.
Right. And then they'll buy their rest on the resale market, because once you have the 150 points, then you get the discounts, and you could do the Disney cruises if you want. So that's also an option where people are
okay.
I have the benefits that I want, and then I'm going to add on, because 150, we need ultimately more than that.
That's a really good point.
The add-on itis kicks.
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of savvy buyers will be ooh,
That's so
got
smart.
what I want here. I'm going to go to the resale market and
It's
continue.
the
with that
Hannah
way.
Montana way
Right.
of doing it. You just have the best of both worlds.
Right.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
But, you and I were talking about this. So I recently got the Disney Chase Visa,
Oh, yeah.
but you also get the discount. So we were saying, it's if you buy direct,
can we stack it? And they're like,
you
no.
get the
It's
discount. Okay. But I have the Disney Chase Visa. Oh,
Right.
well, let's give you a discount. It's oh, hey. Not only did I save $10,000 with Fidelity,
Right.
I also saved $12 on my
Saved
shirt.
a whole $3. Yeah.
Yeah, what were we
Exactly.
saying? You would have to buy, 8,000 T-shirts to make up for the resale difference.
Right.
I don't know what the exact number was, but we were I have a lot of T-shirts.
Yeah.
Right. I know. And
But I bought direct.
exactly, the percentage that you save on shopping or food, whatever, you're already saving so much more of that in your original purchase that you can put towards your shopping
literally.
and your food,
Right.
or your maintenance fees and all that. So
So when you guys are helping people find hey, I'm looking to buy DVC, how do you help them find their home thing? Because obviously this would, with anybody looking at Riviera points, you would want to tell them, hey, yada, yada, this and that. So what's kind of the stuff you walk through to help them find their perfect home resort?
So research is the number one thing, because I think 90% of our DVC listings are sold within 30 days. So when it goes out there, if you're
I
interested,
think it's more 24 hours.
yeah, a lot of them do.
You gotta be
A lot of them
fast.
do.
You gotta be fast.
Right. And so
If
just
you're looking to sell,
exactly know what you want going into it.
Okay.
So obviously that goes to the research. So if you're the type of person that you're Riviera is my home, I love it here. I'm obsessed with it. I like the Skyliner. I like how close it is to Epcot, all of those things. And you're okay with staying at the Riviera when you're coming to DVC. Then you can go in knowing that. Or if you're thinking, ooh, I kind of want to hop around, I might want to look at one of the original 15, Animal Kingdom, Polynesian, Old Key West, all of those. Another thing to look at, as you were saying, with the Poly, originally they only had the studios or the 2-bedroom bungalows. Now they're opening it up, which is not restricted to DVC people. They can still go and stay at the new tower.
Interesting.
Which is really
that's good.
exciting.
Yeah. I know that was kind of up in the air, and people were like,
exactly.
We're able to
kind of like this last minute thing. But
kudos to DVC for doing that, because I think that was a nice step.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Disney.
Exactly. So if you're like, ooh, I want to kind of go to multiple resorts, then you might want to look at those original 15. Another thing is, for example, if you're also should look at like the maintenance fees costs, because if you're like, ooh, it's cheaper to buy in at Vero Beach, but I'm planning, to come stay mainly at Disney World and those resorts, their maintenance fees are higher on Vero Beach because it's on the water.
It's the salt water.
Right, exactly. So, they have the protection and stuff like that. So that's something to also look into. But I think first and foremost, because you get an 11-month booking window, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments.
I think
it's 11 months.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you have the 11-month booking window for your home resort, you kind of want to bet on that where do you want to go the most?
Yeah.
What has the amount for how many points you're looking to buy? What can your family fit in?
Yeah.
Might have to add on if your family grows, but like, where is a good starting place for you? So, I mean, we've had the privilege to go look at and stay at so many of the DVC resorts, and they're all so beautiful and for their own reasons. But it's kind of weighing the option. I know Lauren, who's sitting over there.
Our producer, Lauren.
Her favorite resort is the Riviera because she loves that you just drive up, you park, you walk in, and then there's all the amenities there.
Right.
Personally, my favorite is Old Key West because I loved how spread out it was. All the, the different pools, the space that you get.
Katie's feeling your vibe.
Right, the space that you get. But then again, I love the Polynesian because of its theming.
Did you golf clap?
Amazing.
I know. I'm glad we're on the same page here. So
we were literally just saying that.
Exactly. So kind of just like knowing like, what do you want out of your ownership? If you get 11 months, I think it's 11 months and then 9 months for any.
7
months.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So especially if you're out of state and you're like a planner, or if you're wanting to go in one of the hot times of the year, you got to be planning as soon as you possibly can.
Well, that's the thing. Like we were talking about, it's so hard to say, like, people will ask you, what's the best resort? And it's like, well, I don't know anything about you. I don't know what the best resort would be for you. Because some people, like, we were talking this morning, like, a con for one person is a huge pro for another.
Exactly.
So, like, with Vero, initially, when I first heard of Vero, I was like, why in the world does Disney have a resort on the beach? That makes no sense. I don't understand. Like, it's nowhere near Disney. And then we got there, and I was like, I get it, and I love it. And it's extremely nice.
But
like,
goodness.
whereas people would
agree
say
100%. I was like, this is the first time. Everyone's not like running somewhere. Like
I know.
feel like when
there's not kids screaming in the lobby because it's like raining and then you had to leave the theme park or like something. You're just
right. Like I feel like when we're at the Disney World resorts, they're like, everyone's go. And then we went to Vero and I was like, beach resort, like the vibes.
This is vacation
that
mode.
with a touch of Disney, which I always love. So it's really, it's just what do you want?
Yeah.
Or like, I'm a really big fan of the community halls.
Yes.
I love that is, especially, in Florida, we get rain from time to time a lot.
Every day from 2 to 4.
Right. And it's like, well, what are you going to do? We frequently go to the community hall when it's raining because you can
We're making bows.
Right.
We're painting pottery.
Things.
Yeah.
We made a body scrub today. Like I love a community hall. Not every resort has a community hall. Every resort has a pool.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Just make sure.
Yeah.
Every
So,
DVC Deluxe resort has a community hall.
I believe. Yes, because Kidani Village had it, Jumbo House didn't.
Right,
and
but
you
it
can
was
own
the
it either or, but it was the same kind of thing.
The same
But,
kind of family.
Like one thing, like with some people that we were talking to or that I talked to when we were at in like the tasting thing at Vero Beach, like
the bourbon?
They like, but they're like, no, we love this one because it's not at Disney. Whereas some people will be like, we don't like it because it's not near Disney.
Right.
And so it really depends on what you're looking, because they're like, oh yeah, we love it. Like me and my wife, we come here and then once a year the grandkids do a thing to Disney and we can use our points over there. And it's like, okay, but most of the time we're coming here for a week and then we meet them there on the second week.
Right.
And you're like, okay,
It's a
that
great
makes so much more
stay.
sense. Yeah.
And then
split
also,
stay.
like, are you a Disneyland or a Disney World person?
True.
There
Yeah.
are some like, Disneyland is all I like. Disney World is all I like.
Yeah.
Like, and then there's some that are like, I like them both. But if you are hard one way or hard the other, like, if that's where you're planning to go the most,
Yeah.
then, and especially like, let's say you want to go in a really busy time, it would be probably best because of the 11 months that you have to book to go with where you plan to see yourself. Where can you fit?
Yeah.
I have that conversation a lot of times with teachers because their schedule,
Right.
they don't take vacation during the school year.
it's peak times only.
Yeah. So the
that's
teachers, I have that conversation a lot of times. They're
Right.
like, oh, home resort use year. You know, I try to have a conversation as a DVC owner. I get what the backdoor questions are. You know, it's not just like, okay, what's the best deal? This is loaded points. I'm going to buy it.
Right.
It's like, okay, but how am I going to use it for the next decade or two?
Exactly.
You know, so I'm like, look, if you're the kind of, you know, family that you have to stay at Grand Floridian, you don't want to stay at the other 13 resorts in your portfolio, you should buy a Grand Floridian.
Right.
You know, if that Christmas decoration gingerbread house
Yeah,
is the
exactly.
only thing that you want to see every year, then, you know, focus on that.
Right.
But if you're flexible like me, I'm a last minute booker. I'm like, I love all the resorts.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I love this immersive feeling of Poly. I love the Animal Kingdom. I love Bay Lake Tower because I can walk right over. You know, it's
True,
like
yeah.
everyone, Beach Club, Boardwalk, they all offer that little bit of a different kind of vibe, which I'm totally digging all of
Right.
it. You know, so I'm like, I don't need that 11-month window. So
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
like, I'm just looking for the best deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
get Saratoga Springs double points.
Taking it back to my grandparents, one of them owned points and one of them owned like a fixed week.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
Okay.
not with DVC, but keeping in mind of I've experienced both. Like, oh, we're
Yeah.
going to a different place every year, or oh, we're going to the same
This
resort.
place, same time.
And I see a lot of value in both.
Yes.
So if Riviera is your place, like, and this is where you want to be, or even Polynesian, that is where I want to go every single time. We always say you can really create your home away from home, your yearly tradition. Your kids look forward to every year we're going to stay at the Poly for Christmas, or every year during the summer we take a trip to Disney World and we stay at the Grand Floridian. Like, there is a lot of value in that, and maybe that's what you and your family love. But there might also be families that are like, I like to switch it up. Like, yes, we like the Polynesian the best, but you know, this year we're gonna go to the Poly, and next year we're gonna stay at Bay Lake Tower, and then, you know, we're going to go to Alani because we want to switch it up and go on a beach trip. Like,
Right.
they have those options too. So kind of just, what are you looking for ultimately? And then when you know what you're looking for and you're looking on the resale market, check it frequently. We have a save search feature on our website, so you can type in exactly what you want, how many points you're wanting, and you can press save search, and then you'll get an email.
Very cool.
And you'll get an email
You'd
every
be like, hey, this thing popped up.
exactly
Yeah.
every time
Yeah.
it comes on.
Your
So-
wish list
so
is
you don't-
here.
Exactly.
You can't like lose it, because sometimes, like, I think there have been a couple of people that I forget who I was talking to. It was actually at Polynesian. I was there with my mom, and we were having lunch, and I had the Disney Vacation Club jersey pullover, and they were like, hey, excuse me, like, do you own Vacation Club? And I was like, I don't, but literally. Yeah, I was like, I don't. So then we were talking about it, and they had been looking at resale, and they were asking me, because then they were like, well, we're not sure, direct resale, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, well. And then, but they had actually looked at resale, found a thing that they liked, and missed out on it, because they like were kind of like, and I was like, well, I know they come and go, but I'm pretty sure like more pop up like
It's
every
pretty
day.
fast.
Yeah, so
It's a
like
pretty fast market.
If you lost the thing that you want, like wait like a week and see if it's there again. You
Right.
know? So
And
like you're not
instead
losing
of having
it forever.
to go and refresh our page, you can have it where it's set up to where it will
Yeah.
just email you immediately when it comes on the market. So you are one of the first people that gets to see it and
Yeah.
hop on it and hopefully get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely something. Do your research before, determine where you want to go, and then from there, be ready to act when you do see it come on the market, because you don't know how long
It
it'll
kinda
be
goes
out
a little
there.
fast.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah, I think like, you know, people probably hate it when they're trying to look up like best DVC resort and they want a clear answer. and like
That's so
personally,
personality.
I know, like personally, I'm like
So
best whatever,
personality.
and it's like, well, it's up to you. I'm just like, oh my god, just tell me which one's the best.
Yeah.
But
it
it really is. Like
Yeah.
you can't
No.
just like, because it can't be like, oh, it's up to you, and then secretly we're gonna be like, yeah, but Polynesian's the best. We don't want to tell them. No, like it really is. Depends on like.
But it could be your
Exactly.
mood too. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like your family vacation. You know, you could be taking these individuals for your family vacation, and then 6-9 months later, you could be taking different family
Yeah,
members for
right.
vacation. So it could be a totally different goal.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you know, these kids are animal lovers, and these kids are beach lovers, and these kids are Magic Kingdom. We're just going to walk right over and,
Right.
you know, or monorail. And,
Yeah.
you
Like
know,
I want to
there's,
take
like,
my mom on a
lot.
beach trip to Vero, but then I also want to take my nieces to a Disney trip with zebras outside. And I can do both, you know?
Yeah,
like
it's
that
really
kind of
cool.
thing. Yeah.
And seeing it in
A
a
little
little
warthog.
Yeah,
It's
and
cute
our
too.
family goal is to go to Hawaii, so
Oh, yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
Hawaii.
Exactly.
You know, completely different. And some people that live on the West Coast, and that's what I see a lot. You know, with my customers, it's you know a lot of Western Coast people are trying to get into the California resorts or the Alani resort just because flight wise, maybe
That's
that's
not that bad.
Maybe
Yep,
that's
maybe,
why
yeah.
you know they're attracted to there.
assuming.
And a lot of people on the East Coast kind of gravitate because it's just an easier travel,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
experience.
Yeah. If you're not wanting to fly your family out every single year to wherever, but you're 4 hours from Orlando, then you might, and you want to drive that, then you might want to consider that.
Yeah, it's easy. A nice weekend.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like your location is put into play. Like what's the easiest for you guys to get to? If you do, you know, that's a great thing about points is you could use your points for like a week worth of stays, or you could
Bunch of littles.
right do, you know, 2 days here, 3 days here, or 2 days for in a really, really, really big room, you know?
Yeah.
So you can really cater it. But if you're the type of people that are like, we want to come to Disney around 3 times a year, weekends, and you can drive down, then you're probably not going to want to do California
Yeah.
because you're close to Orlando, and
Right.
that's kind of where you're planning to be.
Yeah.
So you really just
And then just talk to somebody too, because you don't have to do all the research on your own. You know,
Yeah.
if you like call, well, Debbie, we were like having dinner one time. She got a phone call, and then she sounded like they were like old friends, like family friends, just chatting everything. Oh, I love this one. And finally, I was like, who was that? I was like, oh, it was a customer called us from the website. And I was like, did you know them? Be like, no. But so like
it.
Debbie can help with
But we
that.
all have that thing
Then
in
they can help-
common.
where it's just like, yeah,
Exactly.
like what do you want? Where do you like what's your vibe? Like what are you thinking? And it's like, oh, okay, well, you could do
Exactly.
it. So
Right.
like you don't have to kind of like go and do hardcore research on every single resort by
Right.
yourself. Just whether you're calling like resale people or financing people like Debbie, or if you just like do what those random people did at the Tambu Lounge and were like, so like what's your vibe? Like what's going on? And I'm like, oh, whatever. So
Right.
like you can just ask somebody, talk to somebody, and they'll kind of give
Exactly.
you pros and cons. Because like Debbie's pro can be Maddie's con, so you
Right.
never really want to take it face value.
Yeah. And 3 years later, you know, your pro could be your con and my pro could be my
Right.
con. You know,
Yeah.
because it really, it's very fluid. It's like, okay, who am I traveling
is
with?
full
Why
of
am I
changes.
traveling? And how many days do I have? And what's the, you know, it's not always just one very singular focused trip. You know, you
Yeah.
have to be fluid, and there might be different scenarios where, you know, your home resort needs to.
But that's the
you're not
beauty of
always
using
gonna
the points
stay
everywhere.
at one place.
Yeah.
yeah,
right.
Or you can always stay at Riviera because you bought resale, but that doesn't mean you don't get to go to all the parks. It doesn't
Yeah, oh,
mean
yeah.
you get to ride the super cool Skyliner
Love.
to the parks.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, it's not like you're, you know, oh, I can't leave the property.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
I'm trapped. Yeah.
No, it is a
Exactly.
fantastic resort. I mean, the really the detail, and I said this earlier, I'm repeating myself, but the detail, they really like checked all the boxes.
Yeah,
They
it's really
did
cool.
a phenomenal job. I'm
Exactly.
impressed.
Well, thank you so much, Maddie, for talking
thank
to
you
us.
for having me.
It
It
was
was
great to
so
finally
much
meet you. I'm just kidding.
fun. I
Yeah.
No, it was so much fun. Yeah, I had a great time, and hopefully you have me on again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
We
Maddie
should go to
and Lauren.
Topolino's for dinner since
Yeah,
we're
maybe.
here.
Do you have dinner plans?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love that. Thanks, guys.
Are you buying?
Sure.
All right, there we go.
On me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining in, listening to us, meeting Matti at Fidelity Real Estate.
Real estate, yep.
And it was just so great to just chit chat with you and just get to know you better and how you came into the industry and everything.
Fidelity's here for you if you're looking to buy, resale, or sell on the resale market.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. 100%.
We got you. And financing through Debbie. Vacation Club Loans.
All right. Thanks,
Perfect.
Matti.
Bye.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.